Good afternoon, Blue. How are you?
I'm doing good, honey. How you
Good,
doing?
good. I am good this morning. Been up and busy already today.
I bet
So,
you have. I
yes.
bet you have. Bless ya. You got a proper zoo happening now, eh?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. And they want to be fed first thing in the morning. As soon as
Mm-hmm.
your feet hit the floor, they hear you. And they're like, my turn, me next, me next.
Bless you.
Oh, goodness.
I remember those days. It's bad enough when the cat is sitting outside your bedroom door screaming at you at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's like
Yeah.
we don't need an alarm clock.
You don't. You really don't. Yeah. No, but they're all fed, walked, watered, happy. So maybe they'll be quiet through this live, Blue. We can only cross our fingers and hope.
You never know. But it's okay, because they are
Yes.
what they are and
Yes.
they don't care.
Mm-mm. They don't care. I don't know if you saw my Jam It Up June video.
Mm-hmm. That was so funny.
The frogs
Yeah.
were constant because I was doing it in the evening. And man, they were out in full force. And I was like, guys, could y'all please shut up? I'm in here trying to film. If you don't mind, can the quartet of frogs that are right under my window stop it already? No. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I had to put a little thing in there. Please excuse the frogs. I asked them to shut up and they wouldn't.
Do you know what it reminded me of? You remember that Paul McCartney song? We all stand together, and it was like that bullfrog, like that animated cartoon of the bullfrogs
Yes.
dance thing.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of that.
Uh, it was nuts. It was nuts.
That's awesome.
But I made it through. I made it through. I mean, when you're doing jam or jelly, it's not like you can stop.
No.
You got to keep going.
Yes.
So it was irritating to say the least. I see Annie's in here. Good afternoon or good evening. No, it's good night.
Evening. Good evening, Annette. How you doing, Arvid Homestead?
Yes, good morning or good evening, rather. Sorry, she'll be laying down to go to bed soon because I
She
remember.
probably will.
Yeah, I remembered last week she was like, "Okay, I'm about to lay down and go to bed."
Bless her. I think it's about 10 o'clock at night for her right now.
Is it okay?
Yeah. I think so. I think
Yeah.
so.
And it's
about
3
that.
in the afternoon for you and 10 in the morning for me.
Yeah. Isn't
Yeah.
that amazing, though?
I know it is. It is that we can talk,
Yeah.
worldwide, and we're all at different stages of the time zones here.
Wow. So I remember Christmas Day in our house, like when I was a kid, was the phone calls, right? And it was the overseas phone calls were done, and they were done before breakfast.
Yeah.
Because they had to be, because it was so late at night over there. They wanted to catch everybody. So they were done at like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, our time. But then everybody else in the UK wanted to make those calls at like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning as well. So it was all jammed up, and you had to keep redialing on the rotary phones.
Yes, I remember.
No redial. There was no redial.
No.
It was like you had to go through, and I think it was like 15 numbers or something to get through to them. I need to be told, oh no, the lines are engaged again,
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. I do remember that rotary dial. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
When we got that push button phone where you could just push the numbers, oh my gosh, we thought we were the bee's knees, as they say.
I didn't see one of those until I was 14.
Oh, wow.
And it was in New Zealand. When we were living in New Zealand, I first saw a push button phone. And that was in our house that we were renting. So, yeah, that was That was pretty amazing at that point. That was kind of like, ooh, this is kind of cool, you know?
Mm. Oh, look, Annie said she's laying in bed listening. So we were right.
Yes,
5. I'm doing well.
she's got Dave baking ahead of her.
Oh, nice.
And her video for Jam It Up June. Yay!
Can't wait.
Oh, looking forward to it, honey. That's so cool.
Absolutely. Yes.
I've just had to do my video for Jared Up July.
Oh, wow. Are you in the first of the?
I'm the first one.
Oh, Crnikes.
I know, right? And I was only told I was the first one like 2 days ago.
Oh, snap.
I was like, what?
Get it together.
Oh,
Cool.
I haven't even got the logo out yet. What are you trying to do to me here?
Oh, my goodness.
He goes, well, we made the deal last time. I'd go first and then you go first. And I was like, oh, man.
Oh, man, I don't remember that deal. That was months ago.
I remember nothing. I've slept lots since then.
Yeah. Lots of 8 hours, lots of 6-hour nights, some 4-hour nights, and a bunch since then.
That's it.
Oh, my goodness. Oh.
It was like seriously.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm very excited to see what you do. Yeah. Oh, I want to ask you, do you think you can dehydrate patty pan squash?
Yes.
Because I'm thinking that might be the ticket, because we are getting a lot of patty pans, and they are absolutely beautiful.
They're beautiful. They're gorgeous.
I just love them. They look like little daisies.
They do. I love them. They're one of my favorites. I've got 3 different colors of those in the front garden at the moment.
Do you? Oh, wow.
Yeah, because they're the ones that. Yeah, well, Bam and I only sewed them in a couple of weeks ago. And I was really worried. I'm not going to lie, because I thought that they wouldn't come up.
Yeah.
And they weren't looking like they were going to come up.
I have some that got stalled too. Not patty pans, but a different squash.
But for 2 weeks, they only had their baby leaves. And I was like, they're not going to go further. That's it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So then we use super soil on them, which is the freeze-dried microbes that I'm like blathering to everybody about, because this stuff, seriously, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. You can get free shipping. It's awesome. Farmers are using it have saved themselves tens of thousands of pounds using this stuff on their fields. And it's literally changed their pastures overnight.
Now, if you have a plant that is already planted, can you integrate that into it? Like try to dig out a
watering can, right? Oh. And spray it over over your beds, right?
Yeah.
Well, I know that my bed's out the front, that the soil is really kind of cruddy.
Yeah.
Okay. So we just put in double the amount that you meant to.
Yeah.
And we used, because I couldn't find the rose for the watering can. So Bam and I are there with a colander in the watering can.
Oh, gosh.
Trying to get it across the bed.
Hey, that's ingenious, though. A colander and a watering can?
Yeah.
That is absolutely ingenious.
It did the job. You know, that's all I cared about. It did the job, you know?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, my squash plants have 4 and 5 leaves within 48 hours.
That's
awesome. Bonkers. And the other thing, I'm going to show you guys this because I don't know what to say, right? Now, Tanny and I only planted the tomatoes that we potted up into little pots in the greenhouse on Saturday.
Okay.
They were 4 inches tall, so they're about that big.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to show you what they look like this afternoon.
Okay. Annie said doing a savory red onion jam. Was going to do a mandarin curd, but hubby ate the mandarins. Kind of like you ate all the sugar snap peas before they got to the kitchen.
Yeah.
still, I'm not blaming you for that. Okay, girl, no shame in that game. I go eat in my garden all the time.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
So these here are my tomato plants. This piece of wood here is 4 inches tall.
Oh my gosh.
They were put in there on Saturday. Today is Thursday.
Man.
They are 1.5 feet tall.
Gosh.
And all they've had as amendment is the super soil. And they have literally gone mental.
Yeah.
They've
awesome.
literally gone mental. Now, I took that through my back door to my greenhouse.
Uh-huh.
Because I wasn't going out there because it's actually raining.
Oh, okay.
So I'm really hoping that tomorrow morning it's not going to be raining so I can get my small space gardening collaboration video up because that needs to be done. But it's been raining all week, so I haven't actually been able to do it. So, but yeah, that is literally what's happened in 4 days of them having super soil.
Wow.
And back here, you see these?
Yes.
Right. You know I put bush beans in there, right?
Oh, yes.
They're all being held up with bamboo canes because they've started to grow vines.
They're vining.
They're vining.
It wasn't supposed to be vining.
They're not a variety that should be vining. They're bush beans.
Supposed to be.
And they're vining. And they're 5 feet tall at this point.
Oh my gosh.
And all they've had as an amendment is the super soil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That stuff must be wonderful. Do you want to put that again in the chat? Well,
yeah.
I guess it's just me, you, and Annie in here right now.
There's somebody else lurking, but I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
But I will show you because this stuff is incredible. And like I said, you can get free shipping worldwide. Now, basically, it is freeze-dried microbes. All right?
Now, if I click on this link, do you think it'll open a new tab or will it take me away from this one? I just want to save it so I don't forget to go back.
It should open in the second tab.
Okay. Let's hope so. If not, I'll come back in.
I've spelled it wrong. Oh, fingers. Anywho, 100-gram pouch of this stuff is supposed to do an acre.
Okay.
It's enough to amend an entire acre.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to tell you.
Right link, you said?
That's the right link. Yeah.
Oh, and you spelled it right on top of it. Okay, I see.
Yeah, I spelled it wrong at the top because my fingers slipped because, you know, fat fingers, small keys.
Yes. Yes. Now, I just clicked on the link and there are testimonials. Are you in that testimonial?
Not yet. But watch this space because it might just be happening soon because I've sent a video in.
Oh, wow. Have you?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Now, my super soil was sent to me by Scott at Cuckoo Cottage, and I can't be more grateful to him for that because I can genuinely see the difference in my garden. Yeah. I mean, how is it even possible for a bush bean to vine?
Yeah.
How is that possible?
That is
not
nuts.
to the size that I've seen. Like, this isn't even like behaving like a dwarfed variety. This is like it's going. I mean, it blows my mind literally that it's doing what it's doing.
Yeah.
That the garden is doing what it's doing. I went
right to it. It did open it in a new tab, so I'm going to save it up.
Yeah. Now, it's supposed to have 300% more beneficial bacteria than normal fertilizers, 1,000% more beneficial fungi, which is really important for soil health, and 1,200% more beneficial protists, which is also another thing that's really important for soil health. Now, they tell you that it could take 2 to 3 weeks to see visible differences. I'm telling you.
48 hours.
I'm telling you. 48 hours.
That's awesome.
48 hours.
That's an awesome turnaround time.
Yeah, and yes, I used more than I should have, but I knew that my soil was
Poopy.
My soil is not great. It needs a lot of work.
Yeah. Mine too. Mine too, Blue. I've got some that's older, and then I have some that's clay impacted.
Yeah.
And it's just so hard to deal with it. Ugh.
Yeah. Is it Tiffany? No. Hi, honey. Oh, babe. It's okay. It's cool. That's cool. No worries. We don't
Gotta
mind.
get the laundry done when you can on the sunny days.
Yeah. You got to do it when you can do it, right?
We are off grid. So, I mean, you're not hanging clothes on a rainy day. Ain't happening.
No, I totally get that.
Yeah.
I totally get that. You know, I know a greenhouse is probably going to get used for hanging out washing during the winter, I would imagine. Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. I mean, if you're not using it for plants, you might as well use it for something, right?
Well, that's it. I mean, like, I'm going to try and use it for some plants, but still, it's going to have to be closed up and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Yep.
But we'll see how it goes. But yeah, but that stuff, seriously, guys, if you've got issues with your soil, that stuff right there.
We do. There's some. I don't know if you remember the bathtub, the 4 R's collab, the bathtub that Joey did on his channel. Those things in there have been, and those were, if I'm not mistaken, those are pumpkins. That was the mystery where I had 2 flats of seed starters. Yeah. And I had the like, it's like, it comes with a paper. So you can say, this is what's in A1 or A6. This is what's in that tray. Yeah. Yeah. Well, both of them were standing up behind the flats. I had them balanced up, and I left the window open, and a wind came through, and both of them fell. So I was like, okay, which one is which? Let's go with the way they fell. Hopefully I've got them right. But I actually do think I have them right, and I think that's the pumpkin that's out there. But grass has started growing in there. So we're kind of letting it grow and just leaving it. Because I said to Joey, do you think we should just leave it and let it go? And then that way, you know, maybe that grass will help keep that soil a little moist and maybe kind of.
It will help to break up.
Yeah.
The compaction you've got in there.
So one of them, now I planted like, oh my gosh, I transplanted like, oh my gosh, there's probably about 12 out there. One of them has come up about this tall, and it has a flower on it, a big flower. So I'm like, I think the rain, I think the grass, and usually people just put a pumpkin in the ground, a pumpkin seed, and just let it go. So I'm trying to keep along that same thought process for that and just let it go.
That's awesome though. But see, that's the thing. And I think people forget about the chop and drop method as well. So you leave the roots of whatever you've been growing in there and just cut off the top. Yes. Right. When the plant's done, you cut off the top, leave the roots, because it helps to break up that compaction. And as those roots die off, they're going to have already done the hard work of breaking up the compaction. And that's really important, you know. So chop and drop's brilliant for clay soil because it does help with that so much. Yeah. Okay. So we've got people in chat.
Yay!
We've got a Miss Jane Osborne. Hello, my darling. How are you?
Hello.
And there's a Mr. C.
Oh, I know that guy. I know that guy. I know a guy.
Yeah, I know a guy.
I know a guy named Mr. C.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And he says that they've got clay soil as well. So yeah,
it's hard to work with. It's so hard to work with.
It can be. It absolutely can be. I mean, like, if you have a look at places in rural China, like there are some channels that are amazing lifestyle channels that do everything from the growing to the cooking and stuff. And I do watch a few of those because they are really interesting, and you can see exactly what they do, what their growing methods are, and how they deal with that, because they do have a lot of clay up there in the mountains. Yeah. So they do chop and drop.
Yeah.
They do chop and drop. But what I really love, okay, this was brilliant, right? They get that clay soil and turn that into balls. And put
Yes.
the seeds in that and just leave it in the field in a block of those. And that's their seedling trays.
Oh my gosh,
So they
that's
don't have trays. They
awesome.
don't have any of that fancy stuff. They just make a ball of it, stick it in there. The seed that comes up, the little plant comes up, and then they take that little ball and they put it where they want it.
Wow. That's pretty awesome.
That
I
is
mean,
pretty cool,
I
actually.
feel like I need one of those kilns where you used to, make the clay pots and the ashtrays for your, for your family. Everybody
made an ashtray at school. Come on.
Yeah, and that's funny because I was on with Tom Garvey and Mike, Keyterific Journey with Mike last night, and when I showed him the patty pan, he was like, "Oh, that looks like the ashtray I made in school as a kid," and I was like, "Yes, I remember that. That's so funny."
That's it.
I made a
absolutely.
Here it is.
Yeah, you can always tell 80s kids because they all made ashtrays.
Yeah. We actually got outside and did things with our hands or got in there and crafted something. They don't offer stuff like that in school anymore. Or if they do, they just don't, really push it with kids. But man,
kids don't seem to go out and play like we used to. Well, to be fair, we weren't allowed to come back in the house.
Yeah, I know.
Let's be honest, we weren't allowed back in the house. It was like, see ya.
Yeah.
Come back when you're hungry kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. And stand on the porch to eat the popsicle or the watermelon that I bought, because you're not coming in the house and getting that juice all over the floor. I just cleaned the floors. I'm like,
and if you came back wet or muddy, you took your clothes off at that door.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't matter if 15 of your mates were sitting behind you.
Strip.
You ain't coming over my carpet looking like that,
No.
Or my mum used to turn the hose on me and then get me to strip.
Yes.
Because it was carrying that over my carpet, it can go on the line as it is, and then I'll bring it in the laundry.
Yes. Yeah.
What?
It is funny. Yes.
Absolutely. Shoes off too. Yeah.
It's just that, that's Annie.
Yeah.
We knew it was time to
come in when the street lights went on. Yeah.
And you better get home quick too.
Oh yeah.
It was dusk, and if you were like 3 or 4 streets over at a neighbor's house, it'd be dark by the time you got home, and you would get a bit of a whipping.
You'd cop it. Yeah.
So, yeah.
My mom had a piece of wood.
On, haul butt home.
My mom had a piece of wood like this. It was a plank, right? And it was probably plyboard. Okay. But it was shaped in it like a wave. So the handle was the tail bit.
Wow.
And on the back were Bible verses of spare the rod and spoil a child.
Yeah. That's the best one.
Right? So after you got whooped with that, and you got 6 of them, I'm not just talking you copped at one time. There was 6 of them you got with that. You had to sit there and write those things out.
Yeah. And you said, let me put a mirror up to my butt because I think it's embedded in my behind.
Can I just put my bum on that ink pad and just go, do potato prints?
Over, yeah. Here, put a new piece of paper down. Boom, there we go. Boom, there we go.
My mom called that thing Winnie the Whale, man. It had a name.
Wow.
You knew your mom was serious when she gave that thing a name.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean,
Don't get me Winnie. Nope.
I remember when they used to send us to the principal's office in elementary school and we got whooped.
Oh, yeah.
They called it licks. You'd get 3 licks from the dean.
We got caned.
Caned?
He had a cane. He had a bamboo cane, and we got the cane.
Mm.
Yeah, and by the time I got to sixth year in primary school, like the last year in primary school, so I was about almost 11. Oh, I just turned 11. So, yeah, it had got a split in it. Oh, so you got 2 whacks and a pinch.
Ow.
Dude!
I can feel that. Yikes!
Yeah! You get 2 whacks and a pinch, man. That was mean.
And a pinch to grow on. Kind of like your birthday. And a pinch to grow on.
But yeah.
Mm.
And he says my dad had a leather strap. Yeah, my dad did too.
Yeah.
I only got the belt off my dad one time. And he actually came and apologized to me for it.
Yeah, the speech, it hurt me more than it hurts you. Really?
No. I never got that speech.
I got that damn speech. I was like, I'm the one sitting here crying. I don't think it hurt you more than it hurt me.
You can't sit for a goddamn week, and you I don't think
now,
so.
I don't remember my mother ever spanking me. And my dad, I don't think I got very many spankings from him at all. I just remember he could just give me the look, and all I needed was the look, and I was like, okay, yeah. I saw my brother get whippings, and I was like, nope, I don't want no part of that.
Well, that's it. I mean, like, I think my dad didn't do it for me. I think he knew, because even though it wasn't talked about, the ADHD that I had wasn't ever talked about, or the autism or anything was never talked about. Yeah. Okay. So I think in a lot of ways I got a lot of leniency. I didn't even know that I had those things until I was 40 and my mother dropped the bombshell, right?
Yeah.
In passing conversation. Oh, yeah, that'll be the autism and ADHD. What?
Yeah. Just slide it right into the conversation.
Well, happy birthday to me.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Slipped it in with here's the cake. And by the way, you are,
But I think, Dad, because my parents had basically been told to treat me like everybody else and not treat me any differently, and I didn't get any special treatment or anything like that. I think Dad used to take a lot more time with me because he realized that I'd need a lot more time to have things explained.
Yeah.
So I didn't get walloped by him very often. I really didn't, because I don't think that he thought that it was really my fault. Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't any fair. He was a very fair man.
Yes.
And the only time that he absolutely walloped me, and he got his belt off and he whopped me good, right?
Yes.
Was when he thought that I'd stolen the milk money for the milkman off the milk basket waiting for them with the empty milk bottles.
Yeah.
And then he saw my friend did it the next day and realized it wasn't me.
Mm.
And even though I'd said it wasn't me.
Yeah.
You know, and he, honest to God, thought it was me. And that was the only time he's ever whopped me. It was the last time he whopped me, and he apologized like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's good. I mean, it didn't take away the sting on your hiney.
No.
Mr. C said I had to pick my own switch. Yeah, there was a lot of times when we were kids, we had to pick our own switch. That was not fun. Hey, Janice, how are you?
Hey, Janice. Hey, honey. But, you know, parents were inventive. I mean, like, I was a more inventive parent.
Yes.
I especially as my kids got older, I think I realized that my kids, it didn't matter if you yelled at them, because they'd literally switch off, and you could see it in their eyes. They would switch off, their eyes would glaze over, and they would literally not be there anymore, right?
Yeah.
So there's no point in yelling at them, and all you're going to do is give yourself a sore throat. So I used to do things to make them learn.
Yeah.
Right? Ben was the worst, man. He was the worst. Because he's always been kind of nocturnal.
Mm-hmm.
Always been kind of nocturnal. But he's always got up when he's been told to get up. But there was a stage he went through when he was about 15, 16, where you couldn't get that kid out of bed if a nuke went off underneath his butt.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay? So there was this one day, he'd gone to bed in his uniform so that if he was late, he could just run out the door.
That's funny. I say that because my kids have done that too.
Okay. So I thought, oh, okay, you want to be sneaky?
Mm-hmm.
And I double checked and made sure, and he's like, he's Sparko, he's dead, he ain't waking up for anybody. I waved coffee under this kid's nose, I waved bacon under his nose, I tried everything, and he's just lying there. So I put drag makeup on him.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. And he didn't know till he got on the bus. I picked him up at the end of our driveway.
Oh gosh.
And I tried with like 5 times in a 10-minute period to get him out of bed. Okay, because you could see the bus coming from down the road.
Yeah.
And I was like in there going, get up! The bus is coming. And he's like, I'm getting up now. The whole thing. Dude, it's pulling up next door. You need to be up at the end of the driveway in like 2 minutes. Oh, yeah, I'm coming. You still haven't come to the kitchen to get your lunch.
Yeah.
So there's me standing at the front door at this point. He runs through the ranch slider doors onto the deck, and runs past me on the front, grabs his lunchbox and off down to the end of the driveway to get the bus. Comes home. Mum, can you get me an alarm clock, please?
That worked out good, huh?
I said, dude, I got you an alarm clock. You keep throwing up the wall.
Is the makeup gone at this point when he got home?
He was very gone at this point.
That's funny.
But he was like, you made your point. I said, dude, if you're asleep enough for me to be able to do that to you, you need to go to bed earlier.
Yeah.
And you need to get up when I tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Mom.
Yeah. Or just, if you're going to do that, get up when I tell you, and then you can make up sleep when you get home. Take a nap.
I don't care if you have an afternoon nap. I really don't care about that at all. You do what you need to do, But you need to get up to go and get that bus, because I have to pay for that bus. This isn't a free school bus, dude. I have to pay for it. Whether you're on it or not, I've paid for that bus. You need to get on it. And
I'm kicking you out the front door. I remember one time my mom was so mad at my brother, my older brother. And I think this was before I was going to school. So I wasn't even in kindergarten yet. So this is how long this has stuck with me. Our driveway wasn't that long either. And we were living in Gainesville.
Right.
And she grabbed his backpack, and I just remember her opening the door, slinging his backpack out the front door into the driveway and say, "Get your ass to school." Well, he did. And then, of course, by the end of the day, she had so much remorse. She was waiting at the end of the driveway for him to come home. She was like, oh, my God, he's never going to come back again. I remember her waiting about that. It was actually kind of, but yeah, he came home. I mean, by the end of the day, 30 minutes later, he'd forgotten about it, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Anyway, so do we have pictures today?
We do have pictures today.
Yes.
We do. There's a little lady who is sitting in our chat right now. Who sent me a couple of pictures. One, she has started a vegetarian meal plan.
Oh, nice.
Which is kind of cool, actually, because this looks very pretty.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to share that one first.
Okay.
Okay. Bounce, 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 bounce. So there we go. So Annie's been starting her own veggie meal plan, which is really cool, actually.
That is cool.
That is really cool, because she's trying so hard right now. And, I know it can be really hard when you're first starting out. It really, really can.
Yeah.
And I know I'm way behind on making videos and stuff like that and doing other stuff, but we've had a lot of life stuff going on in the background just quietly. And so, I'm doing my best to get caught back up. Yeah. But I really love what she's doing here, and she's making it stuff that she likes. Okay, so it's great getting a meal plan from somebody else, but what I really love is she's making this one her own.
Yeah.
This is the stuff she knows she likes to eat. This is the stuff that she's going to enjoy, and and that's the important part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you guys know that I've written one. It's a 5-weekly rotational one, but it's there to introduce people to different types of food as well, because a lot of people who go towards doing a vegetarian or plant-based diet tend to think everything's bland.
Yeah.
Because they don't have any concept of how to change things up, which is why I wrote mine the way I did. So it gives everybody an opportunity to try things from different cultures, different countries, so that things are different. Mm-hmm. But I really love what she's doing here, because this is all stuff that she knows that she loves.
Yeah.
And I love veggie rice paper rolls. That is one of my bestest favorite. And I always have those ingredients in the house. Always.
The second row, first one,
grilled mushrooms on rye rolls.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love grilled mushrooms.
That so reminds me of like the portobello burger.
Yeah.
Getting the big portobello mushroom and grill and like pan frying that off.
Mm-hmm.
With a little like a squeeze of lemon.
Yeah.
Just to give it that bit of oomph.
I've never tried that before. I usually just put some salt and pepper on it and call it a delicious day. I mean, I love mushrooms. Really.
Wow, speaking of mushrooms, someone sent me some mycelium.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got to pull this one up as well, because she's doing something else. Oh, no. What? Oh, sorry. What am I doing?
Oh, that's nice. I love that color.
Annie's starting a blanket.
Well, it's going into her winter. So she's wanting to, and that's when I start crocheting that heavy stuff. Yeah. Because I can put it in my lap, and as it gets bigger, it keeps me warm. So she is, I mean, we are the exact same as far as getting things done and when we work on things. Yeah. That is pretty cool. And I love it.
It's like that blue camo, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Is it black, white, and gray?
Hey, it's blue, black, and grayish, kind of bluey sort of. It kind of looks like the blue, black camo that you can get.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, to me, it does.
Okay.
But I love this. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah,
but do a lot more crafty things in winter, and I understand that. Mm-hmm. Because we're not dealing with animals so much. We're not dealing with the garden as much. We're not dealing with the outside stuff.
Yeah,
we've done all the preserving pretty much. All of the big jobs of summer are done.
Yes.
So then it gives us a chance in winter to just take a breath.
Yeah.
And do all the mending and the
kind of our rest.
All the crafting and stuff.
Yeah.
We got someone new in.
Hello.
Hey, George, how you doing?
He said, "Hi, Bloo."
Welcome in.
So he definitely knows you.
Wow. I think that was just being polite. So it's all good. That's all cool.
Welcome.
Everybody's welcome here, dude. Yeah. And if you do any crafting or any fixing or any projects or stuff like that, we really do like sharing them out with the community, just to show everybody what everyone's doing. So it's like some kind of inspiration for everybody.
Yes.
Going on,
something they may not have thought of.
Yeah.
You never know.
Every day's a learning day.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. As long as you are willing to absorb that information.
Absolutely. Tiffany says, looks good. This is about the meal plan. She said, looks good. Love charts and lists. Helps me get things accomplished.
Yes. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I had a list on my phone of a couple of things that I wanted to get done today, and I've already gotten like 3 of them done before we went live. So I'm actually pretty stoked about that.
So I actually took a shopping list with me yesterday.
Oh.
Keep me on track, right? And I went with Bam to go and do the shopping. And I actually ended up working bottom to top on my list, right? Oh. Well, by the time I got to the last 2 things on the list, which were cat food and cat litter, the scooter I was on started dying.
Oh, Jesus.
So I'm stuck in the freezer section of the supermarket trying to get myself through there without this thing kicking off.
Yeah.
And I forgot the cat food and the cat litter.
Oh, darn it.
So,
you didn't pay for it and leave it there.
No. We didn't even get down that aisle.
Darn.
I got everything else.
She's big mad at you now, isn't she?
Well, she's got a couple of pouches for today.
Oh, okay.
She might end up having tuna for breakfast, but I don't want to give her too much of that because it's in brine, not spring water.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Is it in oil?
No. I don't want to give her the oil one either because it's veggie oil. Do you know what I mean? They've got sunflower oil in it. It's not like it used to be in the tuna oil like it was when we were kids.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, tuna and oil was in its own oil, you know.
And you mean the like we were kids when the tuna can was actually full of tuna when you opened it up, not just half full.
And you fill it with the fish.
The other half is water.
It's
ridiculous because you have to buy the double can, the big family size can now to get what you used to get in the little can.
Do you know there's only 2 places you can get that here? The big can.
The family
Most
cans?
of them are the little cans now, and you've got to buy 4 or 5 pack, right? The only 2 places that you can get the big can are one is Sainsbury's, which is like the posh supermarket.
Yeah.
Has actually just got in trouble with the government for possible price gouging.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something about the food, but
no, price gouging.
Yeah,
because if their profits went up by 0.4 billion.
Oh wow!
In a year.
Oh wow! Okay.
During the cost of living crisis, when they didn't give their staff.
So they kind of knew shading.
So they've just been pulled in front of a committee in the government, like an investigative committee.
Yeah.
And another major supermarket, and I think 2 other major supermarkets as well have been dragged up in front of them for price gouging.
About to get a smack on the hand. I'm sorry, about to get a smack on the
more than that, you know. Which I'm kind of hoping because that would be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. But actually at the supermarket it was the first time that I've been able to find a tray of eggs.
Oh wow.
Which is like 2.5 dozen eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a proper tray of eggs for the first time since before Christmas.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, I just grabbed it while I could.
Yeah, because, I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Gotta be done.
Yeah. It's, we don't want to see that egg shortage come back, so, yeah.
Well, see, they kept saying it was avian flu over here, but we know because the farmers came out and said.
Oh, yeah, I saw them on YouTube.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with avian flu. Here's the eggs.
Yeah, here's the eggs.
The supermarkets won't pay us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm knocking over stuff under my desk as I act like Vanna White. Here's the eggs.
But there was another video that came out where one of those farmers that actually came out and said, here's our eggs, was ordered by the supermarket to destroy the eggs.
That's like the potato farmer that was, the government gave him more money to burn his field of potatoes and dispose of them than he would have made if he had harvested them all and sold them. Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Stop getting rid of the good stuff, okay?
Yeah.
We like the good stuff.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, like over here, the best thing you can do is go and make some friends with the local farmer.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
at the end of his harvest, he's always going to have, what do they call it? Just piles of wonky veg, basically. Yeah. It's not good enough for the supermarkets. The supermarkets don't want it. It's going to go to rot or get dug back in the field. And if you go up to the farmer and you make friends with the farmer and you ask nicely, not like a wanker,
they will like a wanker.
A wanker. You want love, you know?
Yeah.
And that's called gleaning. And it's been a custom with farmers and locals for millennia.
Yeah.
You know, if they can't use it, it goes to those who can.
Mm-hmm.
If they can get away with that, but they may not be under their contract be allowed to sell it.
Yeah.
But they can give it away.
Yeah.
So a lot of them, there's down where Seeker lives.
Mm-hmm. How far is Seeker?
Seeker is about an hour and a half.
Oh, okay. That's not too
half drive away.
Okay. Yeah. I was just curious.
No, that's cool. He's been very happy because he's been growing his tomatoes, and his tomatoes are coming up.
Wow, that's awesome. I didn't know he was a gardener too.
Well, he's not really.
He's just dabbling in it.
He just gets a grow bag and sticks a couple of tomatoes plants in there and calls it a good day. You know,
right? Do what you can.
You know what? If that's what makes him happy, and that go for it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just as much gardening as what we do, you know. So,
you know, I am so encouraged by seeing all the people that are just fed up with everything going on.
Yeah.
You know, and the price gouging and the shortages, and then you read the backstory in the news, and they just go out and say, you know what, I can do this myself in my backyard, whether it's gardening or chickens or pork, or whatever. I mean, it's so nice to see people getting that mindset instead of, okay, let me dial, Uber and bring me my food, or let me just grab all of these instant meals. They're actually really trying to do it themselves and trying to put the effort and the energy into learning to cook. Yeah. Learning to grow, just to be able to depend on yourself for what you eat, you know. It's very encouraging.
It is. And I'm like, you know, it doesn't even matter if it's just the herbs you grow. Can I just say, I have to set up a mint bed stat.
Mm-hmm.
A mint bed. Because I cannot find mint in bunches in the supermarket anywhere in town at all this year.
Really?
Haven't been able to find it since before Christmas.
Mm.
And normally it's in packets everywhere.
And are you talking about any mint, peppermint, spearmint?
No mint.
Wow.
You can only get it as a plant. So I've got seeds and I've got a plant, which I picked up in the supermarket. It's got about 6 plants in it, actually. So I'm going to get one of our totes into a bed for it and just get it started, because I can't live without French mint. It's what is wrong with the world when there's no mint?
Yeah, I know. Why can't I get mint? Yes.
What is wrong with the planet?
You are so right. Annie is so right. That is such a great point. Growing food and cooking from scratch should be in every school curriculum regardless. And I feel the same way about, the guys used to take shop, the girls used to take home ec.
Yeah.
That's where I first learned to sew.
Yes.
Was in home ec.
Yeah.
I mean, she wasn't the most pleasant teacher. She was kind of like
home economics teachers and being.
I don't know. The one that cooked.
Women.
The one that taught us how to cook. She was amazing.
I was really careful there. Did you see that? Did you say I was so good, Ginger? I didn't say it.
What did I didn't even catch it. What were you about to say? You can just say the first letter.
I almost called them rhymes with witches.
Okay. I get you. Yes. Now, it was two separate teachers. One taught us like the second half of the year to cook, and the one in the beginning, the first half of the year, taught us sewing. And they each took half the class, and then the second half of the year they switched.
Yeah.
So the cooking teacher was really nice, and it might have been because we all were eating and cooking food. I don't know. It was just a happier place. But the sewing teacher was, but I do remember a lot of, that's where when I got a sewing machine later in life, I do remember a lot of those things that we had to do in there, because they go over it very thoroughly. And
they really do
start offering that in school again.
So I think even just the basics need to be taught, and they're not even teaching the basics anymore. I mean, like, even when my nephew was going to school, and he's like, Perkle's son, but he's like 21 now, right? So when he was doing his last year in primary school, he did half a year of cooking and half a year of, I don't think it was sewing, but he was definitely doing half a year of cooking. Anywho, I'd say next week we're doing curries. So you need to go and find yourself a recipe and bring in the ingredients.
Oh, yes.
What? Excuse me?
Yeah.
What are you teaching these kids?
Yeah.
What part of that is your teaching? Because you ain't teaching them nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because let me tell you something. My stepsister and I, when we were really young, tried to do a recipe, and we tried to bake a cake, and I think we got soda pop, not realizing we needed baking soda. We were like 8 or 9. We looked this up and we were like, we didn't know. So we were like, soda. Okay, we'll just go get a soda. And we got a grape soda and tried to make a cake. Oh, that was horrific. That was terrible. But yes, if we'd have known better, and Mr. C said they don't teach much of anything about taking care of ourselves, want us dependent upon the system. And that is exactly right. Everything is, we're living in that microwave society where we have instant gratification for everything we want and need at our fingertips. And nobody has to go outside and sweat to actually get what you want anymore. Now, I won't say nobody does, but there are a lot that don't.
Yeah, there are. There's a lot of people who are very kind of feel it's their right to have what they want, when they want, how they want it right now, without having to do anything to earn it.
No work involved. Yeah.
No work involved. And, I think, it's the same with the throwaway everything. You got fast fashion, fast food, fast commodities, throw away plastics, throw away containers, throw away everything. Yeah. And so of course that runs into relationships. Then your friend says no to you, so you throw them away. Your boyfriend says the wrong thing to you, doesn't agree with you one time, and that's it, you're not with them anymore. And it's like, hang on a second.
Yeah.
Slow down there, chum. Because things take work in life. You can't just expect everything dropped on your lap. We have to work for it. You have to work for it. Have you seen the video of the girl who sued her parents for not asking her permission to bring her into the world before she was
I thought you were going to say no. I saw it, which I've heard of that one. Actually, I think I did see that one. But the one I thought was funny was the one that was crying on camera that she had sued her parents for support.
Yeah.
The judge awarded her $4,000 a month in support. She's doing this video from her car. Then they appealed it, and they won the appeal. And she was sitting in her car going, where am I going to live? How am I going to make $4,000 a month? I have to have that. Are you kidding me? You gotta
Yeah.
have $4,000 a month to live on.
No,
No,
we don't even get $4,000 a month. Are you kidding me?
yeah, I think you could eke out a little less than $4,000 a month and you'd still survive. But it's all that, instant gratification, instant gratification.
See, that's the thing, and that's right. A lot of people don't realize that the fresh produce at the grocery store has been sitting in cold storage for about 6 months before it gets to the grocery store.
Yep.
But see, not just that, they don't realize it comes from a field or a tree or a plant
yes,
or an animal.
Somewhere.
They don't put that connect together. I mean, I used to work with kids when my kids were little in teaching them about nutrition and food. Okay, we used to do that, and we'd teach them. I got a group of us together, and we'd go in. I had a couple of friends who are musicians. They sort of wrote some funny fruit songs and veggie songs and stuff like that. And we'd go along, and we'd teach the kids about fruit and veg and the good things to eat and stuff, because they were having major problems with the kids not eating properly.
Yes.
Yes. So the amount of kids that didn't know what a carrot was, didn't know what a pea was, or a bean. Celery? Are you kidding me? They had no clue. And when you ask them where meat came from or where beef came from, they go, my mum gets it in those plastic packets at the supermarket. Yeah, but where did it come from before that? The back room.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, but what animal did it come from, sweetheart? Oh, no, it doesn't come from an animal. It comes from the fridge at the back. I saw him get it. There's no connect. And that was 30 years ago. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was bad enough then. Those kids have now got their own kids, and they're the kids we're dealing with.
Yes.
I'm just hoping that a little bit of what we did rubbed off on those kids so that their kids aren't quite as bad as the other kids that I keep seeing that are trying out Tide Pods because they think they look like candy.
Yes. Hey, Dawn. Dawn Rainby just came in.
Hey, Dawn. How you doing, honey?
We're kind of on a soapbox this morning about
kids
where things come from, or these days they're not
done, though, right?
They're not teaching home ec or how to grow a garden or any of that kind of stuff.
Annie just said Coles Supermarket here in Australia was selling a crusty loaf advertised as baked fresh in store. The loaf was actually baked in Ireland and then shipped to Australia. What?
That's crazy. You know why? Oh, she said it was baked in Ireland. I was going to say maybe it was shipped to them, because I know I used to work at Publix, and I know that all of their cookies actually come in pre-mixed, pre-made.
Yeah, everything. I'm thinking that it was
all you have to do is pop them on a tray and pop them in the big oven.
I actually think that maybe what it is that they're part baked.
Yeah,
because that's what they sell over here is part baked ones for restaurants and stores and stuff like that. And then they do the last 10-15 minutes in the oven.
They just finish
them off. But you get them frozen, half baked, and they're from a company called Breaks, and I think that's in Ireland.
Oh my god!
So I'll cook that bread.
Oh, Annie said nope. It was fully baked.
Fully baked. How's it going to get to Australia without getting
stale?
Yes. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, that's nuts.
No.
It's nuts the things they try to put over on us. You know?
No. Oh, it's how politicians talk and get away with it. Baked fresh in the store in Ireland. I know, right?
Yeah, it was just another store.
27-hour
It wasn't this store. It was another store it was baked fresh in. We're just selling it in this store, is basically.
But that's the thing. It's a 27-hour flight. 27-hour flight. So even if they got it straight out of the oven and packed it on the helicopter on the roof. It would take them 27 hours to get it to Australia. That's not including packing and shipping and shelving and all of that kind of time as well. So then you're looking at around about 48 hours from the time that it's left there to get it on the shelves in Australia.
That's nuts.
That is not right.
Nuts. But Dawn's right. It's the word game.
Yeah, it's the word game.
Playing a word game. You have to look at what they are saying and then look through that to see what they're not saying.
See, I remember what we used to have a supermarket in Australia called Franklin's, and it was a black and white store, right? And it had all generic products of its own, right? Yeah. And it was like the cheapest supermarket you could possibly go to. It was like almost like the early version of Aldi. Okay. So you know how stores now have their own generic brands, and they're usually black and white wrappers or yellow and black wrappers or whatever. Or you know, but that was a whole supermarket of just black and white brand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They got in major trouble because they found out that they were using sawdust in their bread.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Gross.
Because people were finding chunks of it.
I mean, talk about roughage.
I know, right?
Vegetables for that, please, and thank you.
Yeah, no, they got in massive trouble, big time over that massive fine. I bet Coles got fined for that. I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a wood product that does go into store-bought bread.
Yeah.
But it's sawdust.
Yeah.
You know? But it's like a hang on a second.
I'm just picturing this big pile of sawdust left over at Home Depot on the floor.
No.
Cut the wood for you if you want them to. You know, the bread company going in and scooping it up and taking it home.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That is
so
crazy.
It's basically used as fiber.
Roughage.
Basically what it's used for is fiber. They have got a name for it, and I can't think of what it is right now.
So you want to tear through my intestinal tract? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. So, you know, not only do we have this hybridized wheat that we now eat in that we didn't have when we were kids, it didn't exist.
Yeah.
You know, well, it did exist, but it wasn't in everyday usage until the late 80s.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, everyone's got gluten intolerance and IBS and all of this sort of stuff coming out, and everyone's going, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
And we're all eating this hybridized wheat stuff, and then we're finding out they're putting wood dust in the friggin' bread at the same time. It's like, no wonder people are getting sick.
Yeah.
Woo!
Annie said, time to buy a bread maker.
Yeah, I've got one of those. It's called my oven.
Yeah.
But I do get the whole bread maker thing, but I just like, yeah.
Yeah. She did say she was going to make some bread. Tomorrow is bread making day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she is baking tomorrow, so that'll be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Hopefully she's going to do a film.
Yes. That would be cool. Yes.
On Google,
it's a jam video to do.
What?
On Google, it's called
actually found it. No way. I am not eating tree flower. Okay. I am not a tree hugger like that.
Wait a second. Okay. This is very, very different. If you're talking about tree flower, that's birch bark or pine bark that has been used for millennia in countries where that's what their main staple was. And they use the bark to make it into a flower. And it's only young bark. It's not the really hard stuff. It's not sawdust from a sawmill, which is what we're talking about. Okay, it's completely different product. It's a different product.
Okay.
Okay. They're like, you know, it's almost like making acorn flour or something like that. It's a proper traditional flour that's been used, but they don't use wheat in that. it is what it is, and it's normally used in winter when there isn't any grains. So when we were hunter-gatherers, but it's, you use what you've got if you have to.
Yeah.
You know? What about the test tube chicken meat recently approved by the US FDA?
Yes.
US FDA? Okay.
She's probably just waking up. She has fat finger syndrome
too.
No,
I don't think she's waking up. I think she's being impolite in the middle of that, and I don't blame her whatsoever. Okay.
Oh, that might be true. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. The old foodie called it.
This one, if you'll keep it going, give me just 1 second. I'll be right back.
There is a meat product that is being made, and it was developed actually in Singapore, and it's not available for everyday purposes as yet, but it was developed in Singapore. It's been around for 10 years, and it is basically meat cells that are grown. It comes from the stem cells of chickens that they have created this meat with. Now, if you go and check out, I will show you this because it's actually fascinating. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but it's interesting, okay? A very good friend of mine, Merle O'Neill, she recently went to Singapore and she got to try this stuff. So I just want to find the video so I can find it for you. It's lab-grown meat. Okay. And she is a vegan. Okay. So, but she tried this stuff for science, obviously, to give it a go and see what happened. She went with her partner. So, yeah. Did that come up? Did that come up? Yes. Okay, it's come up. Good. No, it's not. No, there is actually only one place in the world that it's actually being grown in. It might have been approved by them, but it isn't actually available for people yet.
Okay, sorry. I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
So, yeah, this is a video my friend Mel did while she was in Singapore. This is a product that has been developed over a couple of decades, actually, on lab-grown meat. She's a complete vegan, but she went and tried this stuff. She went and tried it. So it's basically grown using the stem cells of the chicken. And they only need one amount of these stem cells to create enough chicken for 10 years. Okay, so it means not using as many chickens and stuff like that, all of that kind of stuff. So this video is really quite fascinating, actually, because it goes through the whole process of how they do it, and she explains it, and she actually tried it. So good for her. She tried it, but that's where it's being developed from, and that's where it's being developed over the last lot of years.
Where is that?
Singapore.
Okay.
Yeah. And it is the only lab of its kind in the world at this point because they have the patent on the process. So they can't have a processing plant anywhere else in the world except for in Singapore. So it may be USDA approved, but there isn't anywhere over there in the States that's doing it unless it comes from these guys. I'd rather eat tofu and call it a day. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
just.
you're stereo on top of the mountain. Yeah, baby.
I'd rather have an honest chicken and can it to save it for myself.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, like, I would prefer just to have a flock of chickens and just grab one when I want one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, because
This is how the whole gluten and all of our IBS problems started, was with things like this, and then they push it out in the food, because the back of the label of, like, one of my favorite snacks, chicken and a biscuit. I don't know if you have those crackers over there or not, but they're addicting and delicious. But in the back, on the back, the label says it may contain bioengineered product. Okay, I just want my chicken and a biscuits. Why do you have to bioengineer something to go in it?
I know, right?
Them now.
Whereas if you had, guys, like, I mean, like, if you want to have that kind of stuff, what you do is you get yourself a freeze dry some of that chicken, turn it into a powder, and then you got your powder for your chicken and a biscuit.
Yes.
You know, because that's literally what it should be, what it used to be when we were kids.
Yes.
Let's be honest, that's what it was when we were kids.
Yeah.
It was freeze-dried cheese, freeze-dried chicken, and it was powdered.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they did.
I remember my mom bringing home Cheese Whiz for the first time. You know, out of the spray can. I was like, whoa, that stuff looks good. I think that can says it on the back now, too. May contain bioengineered food. Mr. C said,
right?
It is. It is.
Yeah, it is. I'm not going to lie.
Because they're like, you know, putting it out as it's this great and wonderful thing, but not doing any long-term studies on how it has an effect on us once we've ingested it. Like, again, the gluten issues now. Once we've ingested it for 10 years, what problems are we going to end up with?
Well, that's it.
They don't know, but they think it's so exciting because they've come up with this lab-tested, wonderful, we're going to give you 10 times the chicken. Well, I don't need 10 times your, you know, bioengineered chicken. I would just rather have 10 more chickens in the yard, which you get by letting your chicken, like they're doing, sit on some eggs.
Yeah. Well, that's it. You know, I mean, you look at the differences in how we cook now to how we cooked 100 years ago. Now, 100 years ago wasn't that long ago. No. You know, my parents were born in 1917. Mm-hmm. So, you know, what is it? Where, like, they say 100 years ago, they would have been 6 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not that long.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not really that long ago. Okay. Mm-hmm. There wasn't yeast as we know it now. We didn't have fast-acting yeast. Most of the bread was made using sourdough methods. Okay, so long-term methods.
Yeah.
The wheat wasn't what we have today. It grew up to your shoulder and higher.
Yeah.
You know, and running through a cornfield as a kid, you couldn't see anyone. You know, through a wheat field, you couldn't see each other. Now you're lucky if it grows up to your knee.
Yes. Yes, Annie.
Because that's the hybridized wheat. Okay, now that hybridized wheat has such a complex gluten in it that human beings cannot digest it properly. Mm-hmm. And it was never tested before it was actually put out into general populace and use. Yeah. So that's why we now have these issues. We've got fast-acting yeast. Sourdough the sourdough method isn't able to break down the glutens in the new hybridized wheat like it used to be able to do in spelt, in barley, in you know, in freekeh, in the einkorn wheat, which is the closest thing you'll get to the wheat we had as kids. You know, it used to break that down for us. Now we've got a gluten that doesn't do that, and we're using a fast-acting yeast, so it doesn't have the opportunity to break down any of that. Okay, so then you've got it's spiking our natural glucose levels in our cells, in our own cells, which is forcing insulin spikes. Mm-hmm. Massive insulin spikes.
So people are ending up with diabetes.
So then you've got a load of people that are now ending up with diabetes because keeping in this wheat, which is now in everything.
Yeah.
It's not just in bread and baked products anymore.
Yeah.
It's in everything.
Yeah.
It's in absolutely everything. You know?
Then Annie just said, don't they coat grated cheese in something to stop it from sticking together?
They do.
Yes, they do. And
They
that
do.
is why they tell you if you want you want to get blocks of cheese and grate it.
You want to
yourself.
get blocks of
Just
cheese.
grate it fresh.
Yeah, I used to get a kilo block of cheese every fortnight. And my first job, because I do food prep when I got home with the shopping, I would cut it into 5 pieces. Each one of those got grated up, put into freezer bags, and I'd drag them out when I needed them. It was just easier that way, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, it's just as easy to do it that way. Stick it in the freezer and you just pull it out when you need it.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, I don't have freezers big enough to hide bodies in anymore, but
yeah,
you do have one that big and you can afford the space, go for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Miss Blue, do you have anything?
Yeah, we've gone on a bit. Sorry, guys.
Yes, but you we'll talk a little bit about what you have coming up really soon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Small Space Gardening Collaboration. Everyone's dropping their videos tomorrow, the 30th of June, including this lovely lady over here.
Yes.
You know, I've been waiting for it to stop raining long enough so that I could do mine.
Yeah. No, I get it.
It's like, thanks.
Yeah, exactly. I can't even walk outside without getting soaking wet.
No, right?
We had those days last week. So, yeah. So that's tomorrow. And then the very next day.
And then the very next day, we've got the start of Jar It Up July, which is the sister collaboration to Jam It Up June. And I'm kicking that one off on the 1st.
Yes.
Then on the 2nd, we have the giveaway on Tony's A Kettle's Kitchens channel for Jam It Up June. So if you want to be in to win one of the prizes, one of them being an absolutely awesome hamper from 4 Jars Lids, or 4 Jars or whatever they're calling themselves. I'm going to get mixed up. I'm going to get
that's right. What, a hamper?
Yeah, they're doing a hamper. It's a hamper.
What do you mean a hamper?
I mean, there's a big lot of goodies.
Oh, it's like a basket, a big basket.
Big basket of goodies.
Okay, hamper. Okay, I'm like, why are they giving us a laundry hamper? I mean, Tiffany and I could use it, but why?
Goodies.
Yes, a basket of. Okay, I'm with you now. I'm sorry.
Hey, Nina, it's good to see you, darling. That's okay.
Yes. Hey. Okay.
Yeah. So that's coming up.
Yeah. So make sure you got plenty of time. Go back and watch Jam It Up June. Make sure you make heartfelt comments on all of those videos. And hey, don't be afraid to share out what you love.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you have a community tab and you found a recipe that you think somebody else will gain something from, share it on your community tab.
Do it. Actually, I have something on my community tab at the moment that I would very much love if everybody went and shared. Now, Flower Folk Farm in Australia, she has an amazing market garden for flowers, cut flowers. Okay. And she is one of life's beautiful people. Okay. She is a genuinely good human being. But she's doing it rough at the moment. She's had to have surgery on her arm. It's better to go over to her channel to check it all out. But if you go over to my community tab, there is a video that I've put up there from Scott from Cuckoo Cottage, who is running a raffle to help raise funds for her so that we can get her some extra help that she needs at the moment, because obviously she's got this place undergoing, but she's going to be under the weather and only one-armed for like the next another 6 months and what have you. So every little bit helps for her right now. Yeah, so I was thinking I might do a live tomorrow, do a brew with Bloo.
Yeah.
So we can kind of talk about it then.
Yeah, that sounds good.
We'll see what we can do. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. It'll just depend on what goes on, you know.
Okay.
You know.
Well, that sounds good. Well, we have tonight, Mud Mascara and I have a combined channel called Muddin' for Nothing. And we have our Thursday Homestead Hangout tonight. So it starts at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Gillum Farms, moves to White Rock Nation. Then Muddin' for Nothing is on. And as Jason from White Rock Nation says, you better go pee before we go on, or else you're going to pee your pants. Because we always seem to be like laughing the whole time. I mean, it's too funny. So we have a good time on that. Then after us follows 9 Acre Family Farms, or follows us. And then it rounds it out with Kettle Kitchen. So that's all of Homestead Hangout. Hopefully you can join us over there this evening. And then we're just going to be dropping periodically stuff. Yesterday, I taught Tiffany how to drive the four-wheeler. So, and we got it on video. So that was pretty funny. So that video will be coming up soon.
Awesome.
Yes. I got little bits of it all put together, but it was actually really fun.
Oh, that is so cool, darling.
And it's our usual Shenanigans. So, yes. So,
that
and
is
then
fantastic.
Next week, Craft and Chat will be on my channel, Not For Nothing Homestead.
So you have to go and subscribe over to Miss Ginger's channel to make sure that you get on that.
Yes, absolutely. And so there you go. That's what I have. I don't think I have. I mean, I'm dropping my video small garden collaboration just like Bloo is, Steve at Digwell, and about 7 other people around the world.
Loads of us there.
All of that. It's actually really interesting because we are all
completely different
the world. And you see all of the challenges and successes and everything that we're all facing. So make sure you go check that out or watch for those videos tomorrow to drop. So anyways, but other than that, everything is all good. Thanks everybody for coming in today. We definitely enjoy it, and we enjoy interacting with everybody.
It is good fun. It really, really is good fun.
It is.
And it's good to have an opportunity to catch up with each other because I think, you know, like I said, summer is such a busy time for everybody.
It is.
You know, because we're doing everything and we don't get to hang out as much as we normally do. So it's like, you know, yay!
Yay!
I miss your face.
I miss your face too, Blue.
Okay, guys, so you take it easy. We love you heaps. Don't forget to send us your pictures of your crafts and stuff. So, you know, we're not blathering on about who knows what in between.
Not that we mind.
Not that we mind. No, we're not happy to do that. You know, but the more you send us, the more we get to talk about you.
Yes. I love that.
We'll see you guys later. Have an awesome one.
Bye, guys. Have a great day. See you tonight.